Hi everyone, we're going to start lying down on our backs, hugging your knees into your chest. Now this is a 50-minute back releasing Hatha class. So hugging knees into chest, just giving them a really good squeeze to lengthen out your lower back. And then drop your feet down to the sides of your mat. So knees are bent, pointing up, feet on the outsides of the mat, a little bit wider than hips. Then moving with your breath, we roll knees from side to side. Out breath takes the knees down, in breath lifts them back to center. Keep rolling in your own time. Make sure that your shoulders are pressing down flat into the floor behind you, and your nose points straight up to the ceiling. Relaxing your mouth, relaxing your jaw muscles, and softening into the throat and the neck. Keep following your breath as it flows in and out, and allowing your belly to be soft. And now next time you lift your knees up, we're going to keep them pointing up. Step feet to hip distance apart. We bring left ankle to the right thigh. And then lift your right leg straight up to the roof. So you can hold onto your right thigh with your hands. Flex your left ankle. And try not to drop that left knee towards the floor. So we want that knee to go up. So we can press onto the knee or the thigh with your left hand. And then check that you're not leaning more to your left or your right side of your back or into your pelvis. So nice and square with the hips on the floor. Even weight across both sides of your spine and your back. Now sink the shoulders, sink the upper arm bones, and relax your neck again. You keep your left ankle where it is. Bend your right knee, take your right foot down to the floor. Then take your left foot down to the floor for the other side. Right ankle comes to left thigh, lifting the left leg straight up, holding onto that left leg with your hands. And you can flex both ankles. Then sink the shoulders. Let the arm bones feel heavy. And soften into all the muscles in your face. Still watching the breath flow in and out through your nose. With each exhale, feeling yourself drop deeper into your spine. Maybe pressing your right knee or right thigh with your right hand to stop it dropping towards the floor. Sinking into your lower back as well. Now keep your right ankle where it is. Bend the left knee, taking your left foot down to the floor, then take your right foot down. Now keeping knees bent and feet on the floor hip distance apart, I want you to imagine that you have a round circle clock in your lower back, and we're going to tilt and roll the pelvis. So you tip your hips down towards 6 o'clock, and from there you roll your pelvis towards the right, towards 9 o'clock, and then all the way back and up to 12. From 12, rolling to the left to 3, and all the way back to 6. Now you keep tilting and rolling the pelvis around. So imagine that you're rolling around the clock dial with the hips, but bum stays on the floor. And you'll get to the point where you arch your spine, and that's the only part. Maybe the lower back will come a little bit off the ground, but otherwise everything stays on the floor. So just really focusing into that tilting and rolling of the pelvis. And now next time you get down to a 6 o'clock, you pause and we change and go around in the opposite direction. So again, keeping your bum on the ground, and you roll your pelvis around to the left, and then all the way up to 12, all the way around to 9, and back to 6. Just keep circling. Try to keep your shoulders and your throat and neck relaxed, just isolating into the pelvis. And then next time you come to center, we're going to stay there. Then bringing your knees into your chest. Give your knees a good squeeze and hug. Maybe gently rock a bit from side to side. Anytime your arms are lifted, sink the armpits. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. And centering yourself. And we're going to keep the left knee bent, straighten your right leg out on the floor, and we're taking a twist. Rolling the left hip up, left thigh over that right hip and thigh. Then ground the left shoulder and the arm, flatten them into the mat. To keep your nose pointing straight up, so the two sides of your neck are doing the same thing. Notice the breath. So with each out breath, sink into all the parts of your body that are touching the floor. Just keep lengthening through that right leg, keeping it straight. Each out breath dropping a bit deeper into left shoulder and arm. We're here for a full minute on each side. And carefully untwisting yourself back to center. Bend the right knee up and stretch your left leg straight on the floor. When you're ready, taking that twist over to the other side. So make sure that as your right hip lifts up and the knee goes over to the left, flatten your right shoulder down. And preferably don't turn your head to the side. So we're sinking both shoulders flat on the floor. Stretching the left leg long. Keep the eyes, cheeks, and mouth soft. Head is nice and heavy. Keep noticing the breath flowing in and out. With each exhale, sinking deeper into both shoulders. And on an inhale, you're going to untwist yourself back to center, bending both knees and hugging them back into your chest. So knees can be together or a little bit apart, maybe rocking a bit side to side. And center yourself and carefully rock yourself up to sitting. So making your way into cross ankles with a tall straight spine. Sink the knees, and on an exhale, take a twist around to the left. So left hand all the way back behind you, right hand on the outside of the left thigh, sinking those knees down deep. Now keeping ankles crossed, untwist, tip over onto your right hand and reach your left arm over your head. Sink your shoulders down away from your ears. Keep breathing. On an inhale, lift, same twist to the same side, left arm behind you, right hand outside the left thigh or knee. Sink the shin bones, sink your knees, and keep lifting your chest high. With your breath and twisting, same as the last time, right hand down, left arm over your ear. Nice long side body stretch there. And once more, twisting to the same side again. So that's 3 twists to the same side. Each in-breath, lifting your chest higher. One last time, untwisting, tipping over onto the right hand and reaching the left arm over. So coming to that side body stretch for a 3rd time on the left side. And on an inhale, coming all the way up. Now changing the cross of the ankles, opposite shin in front, and on an exhale, twist around to the right. Right hand behind you, left hand to the outside of the right leg. Gently press the knees down. Let the thighs feel heavy. And on an inhale, twist forwards, tipping onto your left hand and reaching your right arm over your head. Each time you breathe in, stretch a bit longer into fingertips. Coming up to center, and with an exhale, twisting to the right again. Keep growing your spine tall. Keep lifting up through the very top of your head. And circling forwards, tip onto left hand and breathe your right arm over into that side stretch again. Sink the thighs and the knees once more. Stay with your breath, coming up to center, and for the 3rd time, twisting to the right. Inhales, lift the chest. Exhale, sink the knees and the thighs. And last time, untwisting, tip onto your left hand and stretch your right arm over. Nice and heavy in your pelvis and your hips. Coming back up to center. And now you're going to stretch both legs straight out in front of you. Flex your ankles, pull your toes up, and bend your left knee up. So taking it into another twist, holding onto that left knee with your right hand, forearm or elbow. Circle the left arm back behind you. And once you're in that twist, check that you're still stretching your right heel forwards away from you, pulling your toes back towards your right knee. Each in-breath, lifting up higher through the tips of your ears. And keep your neck long. On an in-breath, you'll turn yourself forwards. Left leg stretches straight, bend the right knee up. Holding onto your right leg with your left hand or forearm or elbow. Take your twist around, right hand back behind you. And then feel what that left foot is doing. Flex the ankle. Make sure that your left knee points straight up to the roof, just like your right knee does right now. And stay with your breaths and keep using the in-breaths to lift your back ribs up away from the floor. Keeping your spine tall and straight, and twist forwards and stretch the right leg out in front of you. From there, opening legs out into a wide V. And we're taking another twist around to the left. So left arm behind you, right hand over that left thigh. Like you did with crossed ankles, not holding for too long. A circle forwards, tip onto the right hand and reach your left arm over your head. As your arm goes up, press your left bum flat onto the floor. Don't lift the thigh or your butt off the ground. We come to center, same twist to the same side, around to the left. Keep flexing your ankles, knees and toes point straight up to the ceiling. And circling forward and once more onto the right hand, float that left arm over your head towards the right. Still super heavy in both sides of your pelvis and both hips. Coming up to center, one more time, take a twist around to the same side to the left. Stretch your heels out away from you. Keep pulling toes towards your knees. One last time, untwisting. We're going to take right hand to the floor and reach the left arm over. Keep lengthening the top of your head in the direction of your fingertips and lengthening through both sides of the neck. And coming up to center. Let's take that twist to the other side, around to the right. Using the breaths to grow taller. And circling forwards, tip onto left hand and stretch your right arm over to the side. Check in with those feet. Feet are still flexed. We're firming the leg muscles here with what you do with your feet. Breathing up to center. On an exhale, twist to the right. Pull your toes back towards your shins. Twisting forwards, tip onto left hand and breathe your right arm over again into the side body stretch. Keep noticing your breath move. Last time, coming up, twisting around to the right. You lift up a little bit higher through the top of your head. You keep that length in your spine as you untwist, and for the third time, tipping onto the left hand. Full side body stretch. Root the right hip down. Full extension into the elbow and the fingertips. And coming all the way back up to center. Thighs come into touch. Bend the left knee up, and this time step your left foot over your right thigh. Once more taking a twist around to the left. Right foot is still flexed, so the right leg is strong. That will help your back to release tension. So all these twists are there to release back tension or discomfort. Twisting is the best thing that you can do to release the back. Keep lifting your chest up high and untwist forwards. Stretch the left leg out next to the right leg. Right knee bends up, stepping right foot over the left thigh. So you hug on with your left hand or forearm or elbow and swivel that right arm all the way back. Check in with the left foot. Press your heel forward. Keep the foot flat as if you are standing on it. Careful not to lift your right bum off the floor. Keep both sides of the pelvis down, square on the mat. And untwisting yourself. Take the right foot to the inside of your left thigh and drop your knee towards the floor. We're coming into a shavasana, either tipping palms to the ground or hands to your left shin or reaching for your foot. Just make sure that your chest is square and you're not tilting to the left side of the body. You're keeping the shoulders on the same height as each other. Relax the shoulders down away from your ears. And fully sinking into the outside of the right thigh so you're balanced in your weight across the two sides of the pelvis. On an in-breath, lifting your chest up. Stretch the right leg straight. Bend the left knee up and flop the thigh and knee down towards the floor. So the left leg relaxes, but the right leg is strong. Flex your right ankle to engage the leg muscles. What you do with your legs affects your back. Strong legs helps the back to release. And check those shoulders. They're still square to the floor. You're not tilting to the left or the right side of your rib cage. Not tilting more into the left or the right bum. Balance everything out. Good, guys. We're coming up to center. And from here, you're going to make your way onto your hands and knees. So thighs and knees straight down under the hips. Arms and wrists straight down under your shoulders. So hips and shoulder joints are supported. Let's take it into cats and cows. On an out breath, round up into your cat stretch. On an in breath, sink the spine, look forwards into your cow stretch. Keep rolling. Elbows stay straight. Shins are parallel to each other behind your knees. Don't have those big toes coming in towards each other. Try to keep your heels pointing up, not in towards each other either. Full, long, deep breaths here. Using your breaths to help release the tension in your back. And now we're going to make our way to flat spine. Then stretch your right leg back behind you, knee straight, tuck your toes into the floor. Slide your right hand under your nose and we'll twist. Left hand to your lower back or left arm straight up over your shoulder. So your choice, and you can look down to the floor or in the direction your chest is pointing, or if you're lifting your arm up, you can look towards your left fingers. Keeping that right leg completely straight. Really squeeze into the toes and the heel. Nice and heavy on the left shin and ankle as well. Okay, untwisting yourself onto all fours, and then take your left leg back. Tuck the toes, lock the knee straight, slide your left hand under your face, and then twist to the other side. Either right hand to the right hip or lower back, or reaching that right arm straight up to the roof. Okay, do what feels best for your shoulders and your body. Taking the arm up if it feels uncomfortable is actually not going to release you. It's just going to make everything tighter. Each time you breathe in, stretch longer through the spine. On an exhale, untwist. Hands under shoulders, knees to the mat. And we're moving into a baby down dog. So keeping hips and thighs directly over your knees. Slide the arms forwards. And let your head hang. So if forehead doesn't touch the mat, that's absolutely fine. And you can do this with bent elbows and forearms on the floor. So again, adjust here for comfort in your body, in your shoulders, in your neck and chest. If this is not comfortable, adjust your body and make it comfortable. Keep your awareness focused on the breath flowing in and out through your nose. Walking back up onto your hands. And now we're going to take a dynamic twist. On an inhale, right arm lifts up. As you exhale, twist your arm behind the left wrist, shoulder to the ground. And we keep going. In breath, you lift the arm up. Out breath, you twist through. Try to keep both your feet, both your shins on the ground as you do this. So we want the weight to shift back into the toes, not keep it all in the knees. One more lift. Next time you twist through, we'll hold the twist. Still pelvis straight up over the knees. And either keeping that left palm on the ground in front of your face with the elbow bent at a right angle, or sliding your palm forwards on the mat over your head. Now make sure that both sides of your neck are long. Often when we do this, one side of the neck shortens, the other side lengthens. So try not to squish into one side of the neck. Keep lengthening evenly through both sides. Sliding the left palm back, make your way up onto hands again. Then we take that all to the other side. In-breath lifts the left arm up. Squeeze your belly tight as you thread your arm behind the right wrist. Inhale to lift back up again. Exhale to twist. And as you do this, try not to take your bum back towards your heels, but to keep the thigh bones over the knees to keep the knee joints safe. Also keeping both feet on the floor. Keep pressing the toes to the mat. We lift one more time. Next time you twist through, holding the twist, check that alignment of pelvis and thigh bones over the knees. Either keeping your right hand in front of your face, elbow in a right angle, or sliding the right palm forwards over your head, but keep the right hand on the ground. Check in with that neck again. You're not shortening the right side and over lengthening the left side that's facing the floor. Sometimes you have to lift the left side of your head or neck a little bit just to create that length in both sides of the neck. Sliding the right palm back. We're going to come up onto hands and knees. And then bringing big toes to touch and spreading your knees out nice and wide so they're wider than your shoulders and hips. Walk your hands around to the left side of the mat and then slide your arms away from you, letting the head hang. So forehead may or may not be on the ground here, that doesn't matter. We want to try and keep the pelvis all the way back to the heels, and you might not be able to touch your heels, but just keep your weight back to the backs of the thighs. And stretch long through your arms. And then walking your hands all the way around to the other side of your mat. Still keeping the weight in your pelvis. Sometimes when you reach to the side like this, the hips lift up and your weight sinks forwards into your knees. Keep pressing the pelvis back and down, even though it might not touch your legs or your heels. Stay with that nice, deep, long stretch through both arms. And relax your neck, relax your throat, relax your face. Walking hands back up to center. From here, we're going to make our way to lie flat down onto the front of your body. You stretch your legs back behind you with your feet a little bit apart, not too wide and not touching. We're coming into Sphinx arms. So elbows round about under shoulders or further forwards. Don't have your elbows back like this. That's not good for your neck. So you're just going to tighten your neck and your back. So either elbows under shoulders or further forwards in front of the line of your chest. Then you sink your forearms and drop your head. Hang heavily into your forehead and into your face. Relax your eyelids. Relax your eyes. And we're going to take some head rolls, turning your chin from shoulder to shoulder, but keep your chin tucked into your throat. So if you lift your face up, then you're going to be tightening the back of the neck. So keep the chin tucked in quite close, which will limit the rotation from side to side, but that's okay. So just little rolls from left to right, and still keeping all the muscles in your face soft. particularly the eyes, particularly the forehead, and sinking your forehead back to center and staying there. And each time you breathe out, melting your front ribs deeper into the mat. Each exhale sinking deeper into the spine. And now you're going to slide your elbows out, away from each other, hands on top of each other, and rest your forehead on your hands or your forearms. And moving into a half frog, reaching back for your left foot with your left hand. And sink all the way down into your chest. So this is almost a fully resting pose. The closer you bring your heel towards your body, the more you're going to press your left knee down towards the floor. The more you press that left knee down, the more the hip joint will release. So we're releasing into the connective tissue by pressing the knee down. And letting go of that left foot and changing over to the other side. Reach back for right ankle or toes with your right hand. Melt down into your forehead. Sink into your chest. Notice your breath. Letting go of your right foot, we're going to press up onto hands and knees, and you're going to do a second round of cats and cows. So breathing in to sink the chest and look forward, breathing out to round your back up. Hips and thighs are directly over the knees again, and all 10 fingers spread evenly apart on the mat, all 10 fingers flat on the floor. Don't lift the knuckles. Full deep breaths in and out. And now next time you roll up into your cat stretch, hold it there. Round your back up as high as you can and tuck your chin in tight to your throat, looking back towards your upper chest. Now we're going to keep the arms straight and keep the back round as you gently pulse your hips backwards and forwards. Each time you come forwards, keep trying to round your spine. Don't let it flatten out. Keep tucking your chin in tight to your throat, so you're getting the full stretch from the top of your head all the way down to your tailbone. Actually, it's from your forehead all the way down to the backs of the knees. So full back body release here by doing this. Next time you come up, we're going to flatten the spine again. Big toes touch, knees out wider than shoulders. Sit back to heels once more. And this time we're taking the twist, threading your right arm under your chest and reaching your left arm forwards over your head. Keep pressing the backs of the thighs down towards your calves. Keep pressing your bum down towards your heels. But don't worry if it doesn't touch. So we're just going for heaviness, not necessarily connection there. Super heavy and relaxed in the right shoulder. Keep stretching long through the left arm if you can. Then reaching that right arm forwards and change, taking the left arm under, left palm faces up, your head turns in the direction of that left hand. And each time you breathe out, drop deeper into the left shoulder, become heavier in your hips, your pelvis, the backs of the thighs with each exhale. Trying to keep the right elbow straight if you can. And then reaching your left arm out over your head, forehead points towards the floor. Nice even stretch through both arms. Making your way back up onto hands and knees. And we're going to move into a downwards facing dog. So knees go up, palms and fingers flat on the floor. Once you're in your down dog, you can pedal it out, bend one knee, and really stretch into the straight leg heel, and then pedal it off to the other side. So keep going left to right, giving it a really good stretch through each straight leg each time your one knee bends. And we're to keep walking it. Travel your feet all the way forwards to the top of your mat. And we come into a forward hang. Now you can hold onto your forearms or just hang the arms down. Knees slightly bent. Feet are hip distance apart. And make the outer edges of your feet parallel, not the inner edges. So your big toes will turn in very slightly. And you get really heavy in your upper body, dropping the top of your head to point towards the floor. And now come to center and take a few shoulder rolls. So the arms drop down and roll the shoulders around in one direction. And then change and roll in the other direction. And let's roll the wrists around. Still top of the head pointing to the mat. You circle your wrists in the other direction. And now we're going to do a spinal roll, and we're going to go really, really slowly. Keep your knees bent. Roll up until your fingertips are just hovering above the mat, and stay there. So if you don't do this really slowly, it doesn't work. There's no point in doing it. Keep your chin tucked tight to your throat. Keep breathing. Now we roll just slightly higher. Fingertips roll to about mid-shin and stay there. Tuck your chin in even tighter. Relax the arms fully. Keep the eyes soft. Knees are still bent as you go just slightly higher. So fingertips or hands round about knee height now. Arms are hanging down. Chin is still tucked to your throat. Slowly, slowly rolling up a little bit higher. Still rounding in the upper back. Knees can start to straighten now. Then shake the arms out. Chin is still tucked to throat. Now rolling all the way up until you're fully straight. Only your chin is still pointing down. Nose is pointing down. And then lift your head. Now we're going to interlace fingers, turn your palms away from you, and with an in-breath, lift your arms up over your head, and we'll take a few side body stretches. So the feet are still a little bit apart. Try to have your palms flat towards the ceiling rather than tilting forwards. And keep the hips over the heels as you go side to side. Now coming back to center and releasing your arms down. Now we're going to roll down as slowly as we came up. So we start by just tucking the chin to throat and pausing there. You keep your chin to your throat and tip your chest forward and hang your arms a little bit forwards. Now going a little bit deeper, you start to bend your knees and roll your fingertips to about knee height. Check that chin is still tucked in tight. You're looking back towards your chest the whole time you do this. Just stay there. And rolling a little bit deeper, so fingertips around mid-shin height. Still looking back towards chest, tucking the chin in tight, knees are bent. Rolling down a little bit deeper, fingertips to about ankle height, still looking towards your chest. You can shake your arms out a little bit here. Deep bend in the knees now. And then rolling down a little bit deeper, fingertips on the mat, deep bend in the knees still to help that back release. Chin tucked into throat. From here, we're going to take a lunge back. Stepping your left leg back. Make sure your right knee is over your right heel. And let's twist. Left hand on the ground, right hand to your hip or your lower back. Or if you prefer, you can always reach that right arm straight up to the ceiling over your right shoulder. And then you make sure that your shoulder is straight up over your bottom shoulder. You don't have to lift the arm. You can keep hand on the hip. Back leg is nice and straight. Sweeping your arm down, step the left foot forward and take your right leg back. So check that your left knee is over your left heel, right leg nice and straight, right hand on the floor under your right shoulder, and either left hand to the left hip, or if you prefer, that left arm goes straight up. And your palm faces the same direction as your chest. So you can either look at the floor or in the direction your chest is facing, or turning your head to look to your top hand. Keep the back leg straight, heel up high. Now sweeping the arm down, step the right foot forward, feet hip distance apart, staying with a rounded spine, hanging down over legs, bend your knees. Now we're rolling up very slowly. So lift slightly higher so fingertips are just hovering off the ground. Tuck your chin in tight to get that neck release. Keep the knees bent as you roll a little bit higher and stay there. Fingers about shin, mid-shin. You can shake the arms out or roll the shoulders. Don't straighten the legs. Keep looking back towards your chest. We're rolling a little bit higher, fingertips to about knee height. The arms are fully relaxed and just drooping down. Check that you're still looking towards your chest, chin tucked in tight. And then slowly rolling a little bit higher. Chin is still tucked. Legs can straighten now. And rolling the shoulders back. Last thing to lift is your chin and then your face. And like we did earlier, we're going to interlace fingers, turn your palms away from you, inhale to lift the arms up over your head. Keep breathing as you side body stretch left to right. Try not to push your pelvis or your hips from left to right. Keep the hips directly over your heels. Keep breathing. And then release the arms down. And now we're going to come into a standing balance. So balancing on right foot, bring your left knee up to your chest. This is really good for your lower back. Squeeze the shoulders back and lift your knee up high. Keep squeezing your belly tight each time you breathe out. Taking your left foot to the ground, changing straight over to the other side. Make sure the left toes are not turned out, pointing straight forwards. Squeeze the shin up nice and high. Keep lengthening your spine. And now we're going to repeat that balance, and if you want to, we can turn it into a little bit of a twist. So left knee comes up. And if you want to go deeper, you'd hold your shin with your right hand and bring your left hand to your left hip. Maybe turning your face towards the side. Maybe stretching your left arm back behind you. As you pull onto the right hand on that left shin and stretch into the left fingertips, or keep your left hand on your left hip. Carefully untwisting. Take left foot down to the ground. Straight to the other side. Right knee comes up. Squeeze it up high. If you want to go further, we take the twist. You keep holding with your left hand and right hand to the right hip. Chest turns towards the right. Maybe reaching your right arm back behind you. Palm faces the same direction as your chest. You pull onto that right shin or knee with your left hand. Keep lifting up through your chest and through your upper back. Carefully untwist. Take your foot to the floor. And now we're going to step the legs wide. Coming into V legs. Check that your feet are parallel and you don't have your toes turned out at a diagonal. Arms reach wide. And with an exhale, fold down. You're holding onto your legs with your hands. If you can, you hold onto the ankles. And each time you breathe in, stretch your chest towards the floor to help flatten out your back. So you'll work with the rib cage to flatten the spine. Keep watching your breath flow. And now coming up onto your hands, turn your right toes to the front of your mat, walk your hands to the right foot, and step your right leg back into downwards facing dog. We're going to hold our downwards facing dog for a few breaths. Down dog is one of the best things that you can do for releasing tension in your back body. The more time you spend in your day sitting on a chair, the more time you should spend in your downwards facing dog. So sitting in chairs, whether it's driving or in an office or at home watching TV, it's all tightening your back body. So backs of the thighs and calves count as back body. Okay, let's come down into a full child's pose. So you're going to drop knees to the floor, arms down your sides, knees touching each other, curling up into a nice tight little ball. But sink and relax your shoulders and your arms. Relax your palms. Keep sinking the hips down even if they don't touch your heels. Notice your breath. And curling yourself all the way up. And we're going to make our way into a seated forward fold. So swing your legs out in front of you, both legs straight if you can. Feet touching each other. Remember, as you fold forward, we want to keep a nice flat back, not a rounded spine. So tipping forwards, either hands to the floor or hands to shins, or holding onto ankles or feet. Then make sure that your back is flat and you're not trying to take your forehead towards your shins. So the chin lifts. We're trying to take the chest forward, not the head. Keeping your neck long and in line with your spine. Now if you're going all the way down into the full forward fold, then your back will start to round slightly. So if you're flat on your thighs, there'll be a bit of a rounded back, and that's okay. But if your chest is off your legs, keep trying to flatten your back out. Check that your feet are touching each other and that they are flat as if you are standing on them. Soften the shoulders. Soften into your neck. Coming all the way up. Now we're going to lie down onto your back for shavasana. So once you're down on the floor, just move yourself around until you feel comfortable. You're able to hold that position for a few minutes. So close your eyes, flop your feet, and sink into your shoulders. And I'm going to leave you here so you can stay in your rest for as long as you need to, preferably for about 4 to 5 minutes at least. So well done on your practice. Enjoy your rest. Namaste.